Hi, it's Joy and today I'm going to be watching The Witcher Season 1 Episode 6, Rare Species. We are well past the halfway mark now, 3 episodes left. I am in love with this show. I'm very stressed because Ciri thinks she's safe and with family, but she's with Nilfgaard, and I'm happy because Yennefer and Geralt have met, and they have certainly met one another. And, you know, it could be one of those things where they're not going to be back in another episode together for a while, or they could literally just be together from now on. But I'm excited to see where this show goes next because I'm in love with it. If you would like to watch the unedited version of this reaction, you can see it up on my Patreon, and you can get the next 2 weeks ahead. So that means that the whole of Season 1 of The Witcher unedited is currently up on my Patreon, and very shortly, let me just double check. And yeah, already the new poll, sorry, to double check, the poll for what show I'm going to watch to replace The Witcher is already up on my Patreon and live for my patrons. So if you want to vote in that, all 4 of the tiers on my Patreon can vote in that poll. And you can also get the edited version 1 week early up on my Patreon as well, which is episode 7. The penultimate episode is already up early as well. So yeah, I am in love with this show. I cannot wait to see where it goes next. And I'm kind of scared as well, so yeah, let's go.
Perhaps you did not hear the man.
Ooh, who are you?
What weapons? I see no steel here.
Yeah, he's got 2 weapons with him.
Still won't be necessary.
I mean, I'm not entirely certain he needed to be murdered right now and Geralt's finished his mission.
I've been looking for you, Geralt of Rivia.
Everyone's always looking for Geralt of Rivia. Now, I would also go looking for Geralt of Rivia if I lived here, so it's totally...
First for me, and our adventures are legend.
You're welcome.
I suppose you want me to tell you why I've sought out such an accomplished monster hunter?
Don't trouble yourself on my account.
I love him so
I knew
much.
I'd like...
No treasure is worth dying for.
Depends on the treasure. That hole inside you. That
Getting deep.
scratch that burns your brain, keeps you awake at night.
Yeah, that's your promise to the Laura Surprise.
I'll show you what's missing. Them.
Yennefer! He is now. Now he's going on the mission, yes.
Oh no, shall we?
No. Yeah.
The hunt begins.
We won't make it out alive. What? No one mentioned anything about impending death.
Sweetheart, you're fighting a dragon.
This earth for decades without coming across a witcher. And then the first one I meet, I found a riddle.
Something strange was afoot, but then it...
Was that scripted?
What are you doing here, Yen?
I'm here with my escort.
Oh, Yen.
Noble.
I'm really enjoying this. Oh, please send something, my children.
It's your destiny.
Why hasn't he found me yet?
Questions.
Please send something's off, both of you, my loves. She's just blinded by the security a little bit of having someone that was her family, but I need you to send something for me because I'm stressed.
He is the most beautiful.
Okay.
The danger here isn't the dragon.
That's why I brought you along, Geralt of Rivia.
It looks too cute, it's a monster.
Something back here. Most terrifying thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Run away, Geralt!
I love the Geralt!
He's starving. Sheathe your weapons.
Sheathe your weapons! Yeah. No one was in any danger at that moment.
For kingdom and glory!
By example, for
Kingdom and glory.
my subjects will be the law. Dear.
Yeah.
I must take my leave.
Yeah.
The rightful son of Nilfgaard has returned burning through the south.
With Fringilla as his mage.
Mm-hmm.
Nilfgaard's a joke.
Village's zeal had been tempered earlier by a stronger hand.
Oof. But I
You're
mean,
gonna make me prettier.
they only were going to send her there because Fringilla's family didn't want Fringilla to go there. Like, it wasn't like their reasoning for wanting to send Yennefer there was because Yennefer was better or stronger. It was because Nilfgaard was a joke and a barbaric place, and they didn't want to submit sweet little Fringilla, the niece or daughter or whatever of that mage. So, I mean, yeah, Yennefer did what she did to get out of it, but And we know that she probably would have had been more interested in what she had to do there, because it would have been more of a test on her skills and she might have been able to kind of curb it and control it. But it's not all on her, because it was not presented in that light. It was presented as the thing she wanted being taken from her. And we know that her mentor lady, whose name I just cannot remember, and I'm so sorry, she didn't want her to go there. So, like, it's not on Yennefer.
An accidental, unique mutation. And in my experience, mutations,
They're
intentional.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter. Mutant or myth, gold dragons met the same fate as anything too different to endure. They died out.
Like the witches are.
There are other.
I wonder if this dragon's guarding its egg or something, and that's why it's not leaving, or it's got a baby dragon that can't fly yet or something.
And how did you escape then?
Mm-hmm.
Geralt. He sent me to get Ciri.
He would have come.
Because they don't just vanish. They get captured and they get turned. Remember what the Dry Queen said. Ask the right questions. It's not just your life, Ciri. It's mine too.
Oh no, 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 no.
Princess.
Grandmother's sash.
Oh god, don't touch her. Oh.
Who slits a man's throat while he's relieving his bowels?
I mean, aren't you a bit hot in that coat, sweetheart? I just love every scene they're in together.
Yen,
I love that he calls her that.
what are you really doing here?
Certain healing properties it's rumored to possess.
Oh.
What could you possibly want with a
They
child?
took my choice. I want it back.
Going to summon chaos on King's orders in between feeding and naps?
Do not patronize me.
I'm not. I've thought about this.
Yeah.
I'd rather use my child surprise as Brooks bait than subject it to this life.
Oh. Yep.
Fuck.
Yep. He's thought about it a lot since Ciri.
You cheat with destiny to steal one.
He didn't mean to. See, Yennefer, you can adopt or find a child that needs a mother or a home if you want to choose a child. Like, in a similar sort of way that he's like adopting Ciri through the weird surprise law thing. You don't have to biologically have them. I mean, you might have naturally been born unable to have children, and that would suck and be painful, and you're allowed to grieve that, but there's a way.
I can take care of myself.
You don't always have to.
Exactly, just because you can doesn't mean you have to.
He's waiting for
Stop pushing her and touching her.
I think I'd ever stop missing Sintra, but you
Mm.
left your home to come raise me. How did you feel about that?
Sweet girl, yes.
I was...
And you always said Skellig was where you came from, but Sintra was your home with us.
Oh god.
I've had enough of you.
Zack, stop!
Our name
Oh.
is not Mouse. We killed Mouse.
Oh, sweet girl. Sweet boy.
To find you.
Oh god, my children. Oh, we can't touch Silver. That is good to know.
Something inside me.
Yes, my darling girl. What? Oh.
Then I'll do it.
Wait, no.
Oh god. Oh, Ciri, sweetheart. Scream. Try screaming. Oh goodness, the girl in the bloody woods. Go find your child a surprise, please. I'd want Geralt behind me because he might have the reflexes to catch me if I started to fall. Oh. I told you I'd want Geralt near me.
Thank you.
Did the women want to die? I mean, I guess this guy was looking for an adventure and you can't save everyone. Why are you jumping? Who says witches don't have emotions?
I fear it took your senses instead.
Only my nonsense.
Geralt.
I quite like your nonsense.
So do I.
Most every time you leave. It's when it fades.
Oh, so how often have they bumped into each other? I like them. I think they're good for each other. And bad for each other, probably in some ways, but you know, in most ways, in most important ways.
A stableman.
Horses are good company.
He does love horses.
I didn't have much of a choice either.
I loved that they're actually talking and bonding.
Of becoming important to someone.
You think the baby, you be its most important thing, at least until it grows up.
But no.
She helps him sleep.
You're important to me.
Oh. She dreamt of being important to someone. Oh crap! Oh no, 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 no! No, 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 no.
It was never my intention to torment you, Princess.
Just destroy her home.
All I've ever wanted. White flame has brought us together.
Oh
You're the
gosh.
key to everything, Cirilla.
That was something I meant to say. When I was listening to the song in the credits, it seemed to be about Cirilla, and it said the line that I thought was particularly interesting was, her path could lead to happiness or the end of times for all. So that suggests that there is some kind of white flamey prophecy that these religious zealots, as they call them, have got about her and her powers or whatever, and that maybe she could be turned to evil, which would be Nilfgaard, or turned to good. I believe Cirilla's good heart would fight through, but she is a child that's been put through a lot of trauma, but yes, stress.
You didn't tell us what she is.
Oh.
What she's capable of.
Ooh. Oh, I don't think the evil Nilfgaard man's gonna die, but I have also lost track of which of them is which.
You are an abomination! I will destroy you!
I don't know which of them is talking to which. Oh yeah. Is it gonna be? I still feel like if the dragon was staying and protecting, it's probably got an egg or something that it can't leave. If dragons don't normally stay and fight back, and then maybe that's gonna speak to something in Yennefer. Is it sleeping or is it already dead? Or is that an egg it's sleeping around? Is there a gold egg?
No closer.
Oh. How are they alive?
She's dead.
Oof. Oh my god, it's the hunter guy. Are they all dragons? Because I thought his outfit looked a lot like Scales. But I just assumed it was like alligator or something. That's why they said he's the most beautiful. Didn't see that coming, even though the pieces were all there, so I probably should have done.
She was protecting her baby.
And then we heard about the kings.
Yeah. This explains so much as well about like why they fell so contentedly. Oof. They are such a good team.
So I get to kill you after all, Witcher.
You really think that after everything? Don't you dare touch it.
It's not going to happen.
Someone had to get burnt alive by this dragon. I love that witches, it's like a thing that they protect dragons, I guess because they're going extinct. It wasn't just Geralt's personal preference, it was... Oof. Oof. Cheat! Dirty, rotten cheat. I mean, okay, they are fighting for their lives, but yes, Yennefer. So he did, the Doppler did catch her. Damn it, I hope she'd actually escaped. Oh, thank God. Is it actually him or is it still the Doppler?
You're just like Calanthe. You bring terror and you bring death wherever you are.
Is this really him? I mean, I can understand him being angry.
Doing the best that I can. I'm done apologising. I'm done with all of this. I have to move on.
Find a new family. Because I can't be there for you anymore.
No.
You made a wish.
What was the wish?
It's magic.
It's real, Yen.
How could we ever know?
Oh.
Wish to save your life.
I didn't need your help.
Like
You
fucking
did right then.
and you.
Oh. Everything was perfect.
Tornado. A child is no way to boost your fragile ego, Yen.
I'll take advice from you about children as soon as you take responsibility for the one you bound to you and then abandoned.
That's enough. The sorceress will never regain her womb. Though you didn't want to lose her, Geralt. You will.
Well, thanks for nothing.
Your destiny, I know it. And you know it.
Gotta help Ciri against Nilfgaard.
Imagine you'll probably.
Damn it, Jaskier! Why is it whenever I find myself in a pile of shit these days, it's you
Oh
shoveling it?
no.
That's not fair.
The chew off my hands.
He's just angry.
Right then.
Oh.
I'll go get the rest of the story from the others.
Haskell did mean his best. Get a roll. Do you want to be alone? You're punishing yourself, everyone around you. Oh God. I'm terrified of these two.
Witness the white flame call on you.
You're zealots. You're extremists.
Anoint hands and you care.
Oh, his name finally.
We cannot fail him.
I love how all the stories are interwoven. Like, some of this is happening because Yennefer didn't end up going to Nilfgaard, and if Geralt had stuck around in Sintram, maybe this also wouldn't have happened. Like,
The time of the sword and the axe is nigh.
Don't look at me, that's scary. This was another brilliant episode. I'm so happy now that two of our plot strands are in the same timeline. It kind of seems as though maybe by the end of this season, Geralt will have reached Ciri's timeline. And even if he's not literally with Ciri, he'll be around her timelines, maybe going into season 2. It will be one coherent timeline. Although it's been quite easy to follow where they all go. And I think my favourite thing is that it's not just 3 separate stories telling us about these characters that then happen to come together. Every story is interwoven with the other. They all add layers to the other, and it's so good. I hadn't even stopped to think really about the fact that had Yennefer ended up going to Nilfgaard, she might well have been able to do things, well, she would have definitely done things differently, but she might have been able to stop this situation from happening or influence it in a different way, and that is fascinating. Obviously, at the moment, Nilfgaard is beginning its expansion in their time, and Sintra is just listed as one of the targets. And yeah, it seems like one that's impossible to ever conquer because it's such a strong kingdom, because of Salanthe in particular. And I am very intrigued to eventually find out what Geralt's reaction is going to be when he learns that Sintra has fallen and that the princess is missing. I think that's going to be a really, really interesting, just for his character, like what he's going to make of that. And I just can't wait for those plotlines to align. But I will start with Geralt and Yennefer. And I love that he was just continuing his sort of monster hunting with Haskell, because they are friends and he does care, but he's very much someone that has been hurt by the world so much that he hides behind this facade, and he kind of, it's just easier if the bigots and people he finds who are like, you can't feel anything, if he just kind of is like, yeah, I don't feel anything, then it kind of, people might not be as hurtful towards him because they'll think he's not going to feel anything. But I do believe he cares about Haskell. We've seen that. And I think they are friends. But I love the fact that the minute he saw Yennefer, he was like, yep, I'm coming. And I can sense there was something weird about the old man. And the way he was like, you will save us. I was like, oh, is he speaking like deep? Does he know about the promise of Little Surprise, and like that one day he will save them from Nilfgaard, and that was like a deeper, meaningful thing. I was like, then why did the women jump? Maybe they, but yeah, it was all like, I'm annoyed at myself that I didn't figure out that he was a dragon. I was like, thought he was like a dragon hunter or something because he had the dragon like scales, like, but yeah, I really enjoyed that. And you know, I kind of guessed the concept of if dragons normally will flee when they see humans, I guess because they've become a prey species, even though they are so powerful. The fact that she didn't would be because of an egg. It looked like a golden egg as well, and I like that Borsch, the older dragon, is going to help continue the legacy, and that witches are sworn to protect dragons, I guess because they're like an endangered species, and are maybe not overly harmful unless you harm them. Like, I guess dragons don't just fly around burning things down unless they're attacked or something. But yeah, that was an interesting twist when he turned out to be the dragon. And we've known now that Yennefer and Geralt have met throughout the times. I don't know whether they made a comment towards the beginning of the episode that said that and I missed it. But I love that they've kind of had this bond. And so what Geralt wished for was to not lose her, which was an interesting choice of words. If that was the exact wish, in that moment, I think I'd have been like, I wish that you don't hurt her, or I wish that you go away and leave us alone, you know, rather than I wish that I don't lose her. So depending on what the wish was, it's kind of true that while they had it, their connection did exist before he wished. They were very flirty and very kind of drawn to each other from the moment they saw each other. So I don't believe it would just be the power of the wish, but I can totally understand why Yennefer would see it that way, especially when they've just been sharing and talking about how freedom of choice has been taken from her. And it's not even so much the fact that she can't have a child, it's that she can no longer choose whether or not she wants to have a child. But I don't think that takes away from their love, the connection they're building, and the fact that like that the moment they shared when they were just being open and vulnerable, I never thought I'd see these two characters being that open and vulnerable with anyone, let alone with each other. And you know, when she said that she'd always wanted to be important to someone, and then as he was falling asleep, which he can do now, although now I imagine he no longer can, you're important to me. Their paths are definitely going to cross again, and perhaps not this season or not until the finale, but I don't think that's the end of their story, because there's two of the main characters, but you know what I mean. Like, I definitely think they will still be drawn to each other, and it's interesting to know how far the witch could go. I'd like to know the exact wording. Sorry if you can hear my chair squeaking. Whenever I move, it's really squeaky, and I'm trying to stay still, but then I just sway as I talk. I'm just really interested in where their story's going to go, but it was so perfect, and I was like, this is all perfect. And then in the back of my brain, it was like, too early to be perfect, but yeah. I know nothing about the Witcher stories in the sense that I don't know if in the books and the shows, and don't tell me, if he has a long-term love interest, like if he's with Yennefer all the time and all the things. And obviously the show is adapting the books and things. I believe like this is some short stories, and season 2 is going to be the first book or something, but I still think that they could do their own thing if they wanted to. But I'm just very excited to see where the story goes next. So I loved the whole concept of them all going on this mission together and the sort of rivalries within the group. And finding out that, of course, Yennefer was still looking for a way to solve her fertility, and now she's found out she never will. But the way she was sort of talking about it, the reasoning behind it, she doesn't overly seem to care about continuing her own flesh and blood. You know, she can have a child, she can raise a child that she loves. And especially when she was like, oh yeah, so we were bonding over not having kids, but you've got one and you're neglecting it, you've cheated to get one. Well, you go save someone's life and claim, like, she's just go around saving people's lives and then being like, Laura surprise, Laura surprise, Laura surprise, until she meets a pregnant person who didn't know they were pregnant. You know, like, if she really wants that, there are ways she can do it, but in the world today, there are plenty of children that need love and that don't have it, but in a sort of medieval world, there will be so many orphaned children, or children that are a little bit different, like she was, that get abused because of it, and she could, if she really wishes to be a mother, she could be there for that kind of child. Now, my version of the future would be, okay, cool, she can get out like a teenager, but that she and Geralt could raise Ciri together. But no, she could become Cintra's mage and kind of be a motherly figure towards Ciri. That could happen. But I like that Geralt's not being able to forget this promise, that he's heard about the rise of Nilfgaard, and they've heard that Nilfgaard could potentially threaten Cintra, and we obviously know that he has not yet shown up. Maybe we're going to find out that he is currently roaming the woods looking for her and he's just not having much luck, but it doesn't seem that way. But that was just also fascinating and just so heartbreaking at the end when they just... And it's, again, so understandable the way Yennefer reacted and the way Geralt reacted, because Yennefer, as she is now, would probably not seem to be a wonderful mother, and maybe she's being selfish in wanting to be a mother, but it's her choice at the end of the day, and I think Geralt needs to understand that. And I think in some ways he does, but he was just lashing out because he does when he gets angry, and I think they'll find their way back to each other. But I hate the fact that she now knows she'll never become a mother, and that he's going to lose her. Now, does that mean she's going to die at some point? Because I like her and I don't want her to die. Again, do not tell me if in the books or the games or anything. I will find out when I find out. But, and her saying he's already lost. And the way the dragon said, well, you don't want to lose her, but you will, seems to me like he didn't mean right now. So that makes me sad that at some future point she might die. But again, do mages just live forever? Do witches live forever? How does that magic work? You can let me know that. Like, is it a standard thing that being a mage just extends your life by 100 years? So, you know, she is gradually going to age until she dies? Or, because some of those mages were older, and do witches just live forever? Does he have an extended lifespan? Like, how does that work? Because does he just mean that, like, she will grow old and die and therefore he'll lose her? Because I could sort of take that. But no matter what, having him kind of be reminded of the Law of Surprise, he can't escape that, being reminded of it as an obligation that he's neglecting, and that also knowing that Nilfgaard is on the rise. Now, again, he didn't really choose it. I think he kind of said that to be a bit glib, to be a bit like, oh, just finish, I'm on the Law of Surprise, you know, send me a horse. But yeah, I'm just really loving Geralt as a character. I love Yennefer and I love Haskia, and I think he was really harsh to him. Now obviously I think in that moment the mood Geralt was obviously in, the kind of, right, so what we're gonna do, wasn't the right tone, and I don't really know that Geralt was in a position to talk to anyone, probably being quieter and giving him his space, or just sort of saying like, I'm here for you, like, I don't know, like, I still think he probably would have been lashed out at. And I don't excuse Geralt for lashing out because Haskia hadn't done anything particularly wrong. But also he is very loud and very constant and very annoying and kind of imposes himself on him. So I hope they're going to meet again. I imagine they will. But yeah. All my characters are suffering. So then with Ciri, she and Darrow were there, and I love that Darrow was just like, something is up with this man. And the further he got from the forest, the further that potion water left him, the more clear-eyed he got. And I love that even though she initially kind of dismissed his warnings, she initially was like, maybe, oh no, he's got my grandmother's sash, she asked him those questions, and harmless questions, that if it's really him, it's just nice to have some reminiscent times. But I love the way they fought together. I love that they both noticed that Silva hurt him, and so she was able to help save him. And okay, yeah, she just wanted to kill him. But then again, I think if it was someone that had hurt her home, like his anger he has towards Calanthe and people like that, I could see him sort of feeling like this was someone that had just said he killed the man that she had loved as family. So I loved them working together. I genuinely thought Ciri had been captured by the Nilfgaards, because I still feel like that could happen at any point. I was like kind of thinking that maybe eventually she was going to escape, but she was going to talk to him for a while and learn some information. But I love the concept that the Doppler, where is it for one thing? Was that not really Darrow? Darrow's lying somewhere dazed, and Ciri's just going to go off by herself. Like, I'm very intrigued, but the Doppler seemed to be like, the way he knows of this prophecy, he knows of what Ciri is or something, and he wanted to kill the Nilfgaard guy for it. So I'm very intrigued about what that was, where that came from. I'm just really interested. Like, he seemed to have a change of heart at some point there. He did capture Ciri, he did tie her up, but he then looked like her to go and kill the Nilfgaard dude, whose name we learn is Kyrkos or something. And yeah, that was just such an interesting twist of this tale. And the Doppler seems to still be out there. They did not manage to find him. Frangella is a zealot, converted, stressed about that, and I did not appreciate the creepy man looking straight at me. I'm gonna have nightmares tonight. But no, that was just so good. So now Ciri's alone, still looking for Geralt. She knows more about him. She's learnt now about the Law of Surprise and what that means. She's learnt that he is a witcher. I don't know that she knew that before. But yeah, I think just no matter what, we've got 2 episodes left. It's really building, and I'm stressed and excited, and I love this show. So yeah, if you would like to watch the unedited version of this reaction, you can find that up on my Patreon, along with all of season 1 of The Witcher, and the poll for the new show that's going to replace The Witcher is also up on my Patreon for all my patrons. And yeah, you can get the edited version 1 week early as well up on my Patreon. I am in love with this show. I can't wait to watch more, and then I can't wait for season 2. So yeah, thank you so much for watching.